One of the questions that I've received at the www.askjustinhit.com is, why is your office so messy, and why would you portray, I kind of like the critical questions, but why would you portray yourself as some hick with a messy office? I'm Justin Hitt with Ad Briefing's Copywriting Tips, and Ad Briefing's Copywriting Tips is my newsletter for copywriters where we talk about content marketing, producing materials for marketing purposes, or otherwise producing content. And I want to talk about authenticity. I want to talk about authenticity because you ask, why do you have such a junky set? Because this really is what it is. I'm direct to camera right here. This is called direct to camera. It's usually a headshot. I got a little wide over here because sometimes I'll put graphics in here as an insert. But ultimately, I don't really care much about the background because I want to demonstrate that this is where I get work done. I am literally in this series, From My Desk series, cleaning my desk. Now, I'm not going to show you cleaning my desk. I'm not going to give you organizing tips. I'm simply going to grab content, or while I'm organizing content, if I get a pile that looks interesting, I will set that aside, and then I will do 2 to 3 short videos, of 10-minute video, 8 to 10 minutes, 15 minutes, depending on what's going on, and I'm just going to go from beginning to end using a formula to deliver the best content I can deliver in that time period. It's like a Toastmasters table topics. And my objective is not to educate you. My objective is not to demonstrate to you how smart I am. It's to give you something of practical value, something that you can implement right away. So you asked the question, why is your background so messy? It's distracting. Why don't you get a green screen? Why don't you get a backdrop or something? You're missing the point because you're looking back here instead of looking right here. Looking right here and receiving the messages in which I am sharing. It doesn't matter what my background looks like. It doesn't matter what's here. Now, if I was trying to sell you something, yes, I would maybe have a more practical example in the background. Maybe if I was trying to impress you about my business acumen, I might have a business office behind me. Or if I was trying to show you how affluent I am, I might go down the road to a hotel and sit in a lobby somewhere and have a beautiful background behind me. But the way the internet has evolved is that it's so easy to do this. Like, it's so easy to get a camera and a nice backdrop and to build a studio with perfect lights. It's very easy to do that. But when you're in a sea of talent that have good information, and many of this information is not new, it's not unique, but the production quality is so nice that the people viewing it are like, you know what, I can't do it because he's a professional. He's all in a suit and tie, and he's in an office space that I cannot afford. Well, anybody can do videos in their basement. That's exactly what I'm doing. I have a home office, and I'm in my basement home office where I get work done, and it's more important for me to convey the value of getting work done rather than the aspiration of where you could be in the future if you got work done. I'd rather you just get there by getting some work done. Now, from a practical perspective, because I'm cleaning up the workspace in which I spend my days, I simply videotape here because I can set up a gimbal. I can essentially just grab the gimbal out of the box, set it up, put the camera on it, and press record. Where if I had a studio, which I will eventually probably have a studio, I do have enough equipment to do a studio. I have done on location shoots as well. But if I do a studio, I'd have to get up from my workplace and go do the studio, which could add another 15 minutes to my setup time. And I'm not quite in a I don't give a damn enough to have a camera set up all the time and have the equipment there. Now, I do have the equipment. My kids get interested in video production, as a lot of people are getting interested in being a YouTuber or something like that. I'm not trying to be a YouTuber, but I do want to give him some fresh content to edit because I can pay him to edit, and I'd rather keep the money in the family. But ultimately, I don't need to wait until I have the perfect background. I don't need to wait until I have a location to shoot at. And I simply don't need to impress anybody. I'm not really trying to impress everybody. This is really where I work every day. It's not perfect. but it's very functional, and I get a lot accomplished. So again, why don't you focus on getting more accomplished and less on whether my beard's combed, or maybe you ought to trim that beard off and get yourself some sideburns. That General Sideburns guy was a cool guy. You know what? This is just how I am. And I'm trying to make it fun and interesting. I'm also trying to convey ideas and concepts that are more valuable than whether I have a nice shirt on today or the background there. And I don't really care if you think I'm credible or not, because I have enough clients who already pay me money every month that are convinced of the credibility, because they took the one thing in a video, or one thing in a special report, or the one thing we did in coaching session, or the one thing I did in an assignment, and they used it to get a result, and then they realize they come back. Now, am I satisfied with these videos? No, I'm not. There's some reverb from under the desk that's happening here. There's the backdrop, the lighting is odd in the backdrop. And I know how it can be done better, but if I went through all that effort right now, it would distract me from the key elements, the key delivery of value, the key delivery of information that you can use. And the ultimate objective is not to sit and make videos. The ultimate objective is to spend 99% of my time with billable work in front of customers who pay, rather than a general internet audience that complains most of the time. But again, I get a kick out of some of this, and I'm having fun with it. And so to cap off this video session, there's another thing about these videos is I do them in batch. But to kick off this video session, I just figured I'd answer that question. It is a very common question. Why don't you do something about your audio quality? Why don't you do something about your video quality? Your face is kind of blotchy. I actually do have fair skin, and my face is a little blotchy right there. But you know what? I'm not trying to make professional videos. I'm trying to make useful videos. I'm trying to make resources that compel you to action, and resources that maybe take materials I've created in the past for clients and kind of summarize them into more digestible chunks. Because believe me, I've got like 4 to 5 hour video sessions of training programs that I've done for clients. I've got materials that I've put together, 500-page books and reports and technical analysis and stuff. And it's just a lot of junk to be posting online. It's not junk for the person who likes to dig through it and finds that one gem and they make $1 million. That's a different story. And by the way, I am not promising or implying that you'll make $1 million listening to this video. But if you go past this will serve you well in life. So this is the takeaway. If you go past the physical or biological or external appearances of individuals or situations, you will find gems in the oddest places. And I would refer you to the story Acres of Diamonds, about a farmer who, Russell, I don't have it off the top of my head, but Acres of Diamonds is about a farmer who hears stories of other farmers finding diamonds and miners finding diamonds, and he's just excited about it. And he sells his farm to go in search of diamonds. Now, he doesn't find any diamonds, and he eventually dies penniless and broke. But the person who bought his farm was out in a creek one day and realized there's this big shiny rock, and it's kind of ugly, and he takes it inside because he liked the weight of it. He took it inside, wiped it off, and realizes it's a giant diamond. The original farmer didn't actually know what a diamond was, or where to find diamonds, or how to cultivate diamonds, and actually left a farm that was literally acres of diamonds. Now, that story I heard first from Earl Nightingale. I don't need to claim that story as my own. I can reference an expert, Earl Nightingale, who teaches you this inspirational story. But very often we criticize the world around us because it doesn't meet our expectations, yet don't ourselves have the context or the experience to know the value that is already there. So if there's one thing you pick up out of this program or this series of programs, beyond its disheveled look or limited lighting, and how I'm moving the mouses around to keep the screensavers from going out, and I'm finding stuff on my desk, and I'm picking up papers and looking stupid, making dumb I gotta figure out how to look at the camera and not look at myself in here, because I am a little goofy looking, and it is entertaining to me, not necessarily to you, because I don't really care if anybody watches these videos. But the long story short is how do I convey key ideas and concepts that you can implement immediately and get the results in your personal life, get the results in your business, or get the results for your clients so that you can take your outcome to the next level. For my Ad Briefings newsletter subscribers who will receive a copy of this video as part of a newsletter, it's really about what is the authenticity of your client. It is easier to get your client to be themselves than for them to, in a difficult sense, try to be somebody else. So if I dressed up and did a beautiful backdrop and tried to present to you as somebody, this is my authority post. If I was trying to present to you as an authority, that's not how I am every day. I have a slight stutter. I slur my words together. I very often get distracted by pretty pictures and shiny lights and things like that. That's just who I am. It's easier to get a first draft done being who I am, and then later have somebody transcribe the video and turn it into a more polished report, or have somebody take this video and put it in a little corner of the screen down here while there's a slide presentation in the background, or maybe they edit and they cut out the goofy stuff and see, I got the first draft done. From my perspective, I can move on and do something else. I can have a whole team of people editing the video and setting up the show notes and setting up displays. And technology is so awesome today that they can even cut this background out. In fact, how do you know I don't already have a green screen? How do you know I don't already have a green screen? See, here's the deal. None of that matters. When you're creating content for your customers, just get it done. And get it done with the highest quality and value. And many of the people who view it will look beyond the homely aesthetics, and they'll discover the value. Now, there are things that I am working on in this video. So, for example, my sinuses will clog up. So I really should be talking out of the back of my throat like this. I should be using more of a resonant posture and vocal expression, and sometimes I get like this and tight. So there is a little bit of self-critique here, so I'm not even looking at the background myself. I'm simply preparing materials so that I can, again, convey key ideas and concepts, make them practical and ready to implement for myself, for staff, for my clients, and then for a general audience, because nowadays you can publish quite easily. And number 3 is I am working on things like cleaning up my desk and ultimately improving my presentation skills. And then maybe one day I will reach the aspirations that many of the writers have when they write in and ask, why do you have such a crappy background? Why don't you shave? How come some of the videos you look a lot younger than you do in this video? Why do you use the silly voices? Why do you use the silly voices? Long story short is you'll discover all that and more in the program called From My Desk that you can visit www.askjustinhit.com to learn more about this unique program where I'm cleaning up my desk and sharing with you practical ideas and concepts even in my nasty workplace where my background is not so clean. How do you know I'm not on a set? Oh, the moon landing. Was it real or was it not? We don't know. That's not the right question. The question is where's the profit in this? What can I use from this video today or any of the other videos that I've shared over the years? What can I use to advance myself and my personal objectives and grow myself, family, and community? I'm Justin Hitt from Ad Briefings Copywriting Tips, our newsletter on copywriting tips. But you can ask questions in general about strategic relationships, business development, and risk management by visiting www.askjustinhit.com. I'm here to help you create key profitable customers and transform business relationships. And this has been answering the question about why do you have such a crappy background? Why are your videos so amateur? Thanks for watching. Oh, push button.